The first human ship entered the Orion Accord without weapons powered, shields lowered, and engines throttled to the bare minimum required to keep from drifting. That alone unsettled the observers. Across the vast chamber of the Galactic Assembly, representatives of 100 species watched the projection of the vessel rotate slowly in space. It was small by interstellar standards, no gilded hull, no intimidating spines, no visible armament arrays bristling like threats, just a compact frame of dark alloy, scarred by old repairs and marked with a simple symbol, an open circle intersected by a vertical line. "This is the human envoy?" hissed the Virex delegate, mandibles twitching. "That is not a warship." "It is not," replied the assembly moderator, "an ancient being of light and geometry, nor did they claim it to be." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Humanity had arrived late to the stars, while empires rose and collapsed over tens of thousands of cycles. Earth had only recently broken free of its gravity well. Their early probes were dismissed, their first colonies were ignored, their signals catalogued and archived. Until the day the Relathi fleet vanished. The Relathi were conquerors, efficient, merciless, proud. Their armadas moved like storms, consuming systems, stripping worlds, and enslaving survivors. When they crossed into the Perseus Drift, no one intervened. Except humanity. No formal declaration, no grand warning, just a single transmission, broadcast on every known frequency. "Do not advance further. This region is under human protection." The Relathi laughed. 3 cycles later, their fleet was gone, not defeated, not retreating. Gone. No debris fields, no escape pods, no energy signatures consistent with known weapons, just silence where thousands of warships had been. Now, the same species responsible stood calmly before the Galactic Assembly, requesting membership in the Orion Accord. The human envoy appeared as the projection resolved, a biped, upright posture, forward-facing eyes, fragile-looking by galactic standards, no natural armor, no claws, no fangs. The Virex clicked in disbelief. This creature annihilated the Relathi? The envoy inclined her head slightly. "We did not annihilate them." A pause. "We stopped them." The chamber stilled. The assembly moderator pulsed softly. "Clarify." The human folded her hands behind her back. "The Relathi crossed a boundary, not a territorial one, a moral one." Several delegates shifted uncomfortably. "We warned them," the human continued. "They ignored us. They fired upon a civilian habitat. At that moment, they ceased to be an external force and became a problem." The Corthan warlord slammed a clawed fist against his platform. "You erased an entire fleet." "No," the human replied calmly. "We removed their capacity to harm." "How?" demanded the Virex. "What weapon did you use?" The human hesitated, not long, but noticeably. Then she spoke. "We used the quiet." The term translated poorly across species. The chamber lights flickered as multiple linguistic matrices struggled to define it. "The quiet," the human explained, "is not a weapon in the way you understand. It is a condition, a space where reaction ceases, where energy cannot propagate, where systems, biological and mechanical, lose the ability to continue." A cold sensation passed through the chamber. "You collapsed spacetime?" asked the Corthan, suddenly less aggressive. "No," said the human, "we isolated it." The moderator's glow dimmed. "Such technology violates Accord restrictions." "Yes," the human said, "which is why we have never used it before, and will never use it again unless forced." The Virex recoiled. "You expect us to believe that?" The human met the Virex's gaze. "You expect us to forget the Relathi's victims?" Silence. The assembly had records, refugee counts, planetary sterilizations, cultural extinctions. No one present was innocent of inaction. The human stepped forward slightly. "Humanity does not seek dominance, we seek participation. But understand this, we do not measure strength the way you do." The Corthan snorted. "Then how do you measure it?" The human's voice softened. "By what we refuse to become." A ripple of unease moved through the delegates. "You destroyed an empire," the Virex said. "That changes the balance of power." "No," the human replied. "The balance was already broken. We corrected it." The moderator pulsed again. "Slower now. Why reveal this? Why not remain hidden? Feared?" The human smiled faintly. "Because fear decays, cooperation endures." A side display flickered to life human historical archives, carefully curated, images of early Earth conflicts, wars, atrocities, then rebuilding, alliances, treaties forged from ashes. "We have been monsters," the human said quietly. "We know what unchecked power does. That is why we built restraints before we built starships." The Virex clicked softly, uncertain. "And if the Accord denies you?" the Corthan asked. The human considered. "Then we will continue as we are, protecting those who cannot protect themselves, and hoping you never give us a reason to demonstrate how far we are willing to go." That was not a threat. That was a promise. The assembly recessed for deliberation. In hidden chambers and encrypted channels, panic spread. Analysts ran simulations. None favored confrontation. Humanity's technology did not outgun the Accord, it bypassed it. They did not fight harder. They fought differently. When the assembly reconvened, the moderator's form expanded, filling the chamber. The Orion Accord votes to grant humanity provisional membership. A collective exhale. Under one condition, the moderator continued: full disclosure of the quiet. The human envoy closed her eyes briefly. When she opened them, there was something ancient in her expression. "We cannot." The chamber erupted. "This is unacceptable." "Then you are a threat. You expect trust without transparency?" The human raised a hand. The noise faded. "The quiet is not something you can possess safely," she said. "It is not bound to machines alone. It is bound to intent, to choice." The Virex recoiled. "You built a moral weapon?" "No," the human corrected. "We built a moral limit." The moderator shimmered, struggling with the concept. "We encoded our own hesitation into it," the human continued. "The quiet activates only when every other option is exhausted, when the alternative is extinction." "Yours," the Corthan growled. "Anyone's," the human replied, "including ours." That landed like a gravity well. "You made a weapon that can judge you," whispered a delegate. "Yes," said the human, "because power without accountability destroys the wielder first." The chamber fell silent again, but this time it was different. Not fear. Respect. The moderator pulsed one final time. "Humanity is granted full membership. The quiet shall remain undisclosed, by unanimous exception." The vote passed. As the human envoy turned to leave, the Virex called out, "Human." She paused. "What happens if another empire does what the Relethi did?" The human did not turn around. "Then," she said, "we will remind the galaxy why monsters learned to build cages." The transmission ended. Far from the assembly, on the edge of explored space, a human observation post drifted quietly. Inside, an engineer stared at a console displaying dormant systems, layers of safeguards wrapped around a single, terrifying capability. "Still asleep," the engineer murmured. Another human nodded. "Let it stay that way." Beyond the viewport, stars burned in silent harmony. For the first time in galactic history, peace was not maintained by fear of conquest, but by fear of awakening something that humanity itself was determined never to become again. And that, more than any fleet or weapon, changed the fate of the galaxy forever.